It's telling me no connection. I wonder if that's true or if there is and I just can't see it. Hey, Vanessa. Oh, my table's shaky, my connection's shaky, but at least I'm outside on a beautiful, beautiful day. So, hello and welcome to Live for today. I wanted to get together and talk a bit about how herbalism can really make an impact in your life. And it can in so many ways. Is that Helper Kid or Helper KLD? Pardon me one moment. Hey, Anira, every time you are touching this table, it makes my phone go like this, like an earthquake. Come see. Watch. And this is why I wanted you to play on your trampoline or out in the yard. KLD. Still, I like helpers. I got a Helper Kid right here. Look, I barely touch this. And it goes wobble, wobble, wobble. Makes it kind of hard to see. So I would love it if you could play somewhere else, okay? Right there is fine. Life with children is a blast. Anybody here got kids? I got kids. Retired CNA, you are such an important being. Thank you for the work that you have done. Oh, yay, you're here. Finally catching on for a live. I'm so excited. Nanny Rosalind Lewis. I still am getting you that workbook. So, hello, everybody. I did want to come together and just talk about how herbalism can be extremely impactful in your life. And Anira, one moment. I asked you once, can you please play elsewhere because you're making it shake a lot. You can play right here in the sunshine next to Pepe and Gouda. So my little girl, she's 8. She's wonderful, and I love her so much. She's mad that I'm doing a live right now. She doesn't have school on Fridays. She goes to a really, really cool outdoor school, and they're only Monday through Friday, which is great. And she's hanging out next to me playing, which is ideal. But as you can tell, anytime she moves her little toy, it just shakes the whole phone, and it's driving me bonkers. So thank you for the hearts and the likes. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully some of you can understand my joys. And I wanted to just, like I was saying, hello, I'm Mel. For those of you that don't know, I am a clinical herbalist. I'm a mother of a beautiful 8-year-old daughter. I'm an herbal product formulator, and I own an herbal products company called Mountain Mel's Essential Goods. And I have this crazy passion for teaching people to use plants as medicine in a safe and effective way. I truly, truly believe that there needs to be an herbalist in every single home again. Sweet pea, you're bouncing because you're playing. And now she's storming away. Sorry, guys. I'm sure maybe some of you can get it. And the joys. I'm sorry, you guys might not even care that it shakes, and I do. It was kind of driving me bonkers. Anyways, I love teaching people to use plants as medicine and embracing rough starts to a live talk with you guys. And I just wanted to come together and talk about some of the things and transformations I've seen for my students and how it's changed their lives. And I think it is such a wonderful way to be. Like, I have one student who has been impacted so incredibly. She is retired. She worked in an acupuncture clinic for many, many years, and she went through one of my programs. It was specific. Well, she's been through my Herbs for Immune Health and my Herbs for Gut Health program. And she, after the Herbs for Gut Health program, lost 12 pounds in 6 weeks. She started sleeping better. She got rid of her joint pain and inflammation and body aches and pains. She went to the doctor and at one point had 5 polyps on her colon, I believe. And then 8 months later, texted me and said, oh my gosh, there's only one. And my doctor didn't believe me. And of course, she knew it was for the plants. And the doctor was like, heck no way that could ever happen. And so that's one way that changed her life. And she's like in her mid-60s. So by the time COVID rolled around, she was okay. Like, she didn't and still has yet to catch COVID because she knew how to strengthen and support her immune system, and she still knows this. She's just making really much better decisions. I've had other students that were so grateful because they were getting sick all of the time and their kiddo kept missing school all of the time. And she then learned about the immune system and how to choose the right herbs at the right time for her and her kid's immune system. And then the kid was going back to school. She didn't have to miss work and everything was so much less stressful for her. Those kinds of things are so exciting for me to hear and to see. I love helping mamas and mamas that have made it to the level of grand to be able to use these plants safely and effectively. And it's such a good time. I've had another student who started making her own herbal products, and she was so blown away. Like, she would give them to her mom and she would give them to her kids. And yay, I'm so glad that you came up too. So thank you so much for being here, Layla Smith. Oh, nice. I am so happy to be there. If you guys have friends that love learning about herbalism or might love learning about herbalism, please share this video with them. I am going to spend the day today just talking about how herbalism can make a really big difference in your life. So, and in your family's life. It's so nice to have this freedom in your mind and this confidence in your mind, knowing that you have plants around that you can use as medicine, and knowing how to do it in a safe and effective way without that like fear of, oh my gosh, is this the right thing? Am I taking the right herb? Am I doing it the right way? Am I going to hurt my kids? When you have the knowledge of how the body works and then how certain herbs work and how you can dance that together, it's the most empowering thing that you can do for yourself and the most empowering thing you can do for your family. It's truly amazing. It's a gift. It's a lifelong gift. And like, once you take the time to invest in this kind of knowledge, one, it's addictive and you're going to want to learn about it forever and ever and ever and ever. Because it's so much fun. There's so many cool plants to learn about. Once you do that though, like, those are forever tools in your life skill box. And they're ones that can dramatically change the way you live. So like, I like to think back on some of the more important times that I was like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful that I'm an herbalist and that I understand how to use plants as medicine. Like, one recent one, my partner, Chris, he works with me. He does shipping and receiving in our small business, Mountain Mel's, and he was using it. Oh, smile, sunshine, and love. How can I not love your name? And Malastra, Mel. Astra? Yeah, it's totally addictive. It's a nonstop addiction. I'm so glad you guys are here. Anyways, he was working in the back of the warehouse and he was using a paper cutter and he sliced his thumb open super duper bad and was immediately like gushing and squirting blood all over the place. And you could see like a flap of his thumb, and most people during that time would be like, oh my gosh, I have to run to the hospital and get stitches right now. But instead, I have an herbal apothecary. So I turned to yarrow immediately to stop the bleeding, which was amazingly effective. I had some dried yarrow and I put it inside of a tea bag and wet it down and used it as a poultice in that way. And I still kept him with his thumb up above his head. And the bleeding stopped quite quickly. And then we added some comfrey to the mix and a little echinacea. Echinacea to just make sure that any infection that may have been trying to live in there would be killed off. And then the comfrey to help speed and repair the healing of his skin, because comfrey is really rich in this really cool herbal constituent called allantoin. And it is phenomenal for helping to regenerate skin cells. It's magic. Like, it's really great to keep wrinkles at bay as well. So you can infuse it in a nice oil. You can use it as a poultice. I love to use this one for sprains and strains. And as a matter of fact, that's another time where I'm really grateful that I'm an herbalist. And I have many, many friends and people in my community that turn to me. And I live in a kind of touristy community, so the majority of people that live here work in the service industry, or they work in the ski and outdoor fun industry. So people hurt themselves often. They play hard where I live, and injuries happen, and a lot of waitresses will be like, oh my gosh, I sprained my ankle and I can't work. And that's devastating for somebody in the service industry because they rely so heavily on those tips. And so I would give them some comfrey oil with a little bit of arnica oil as well, which I infuse those because I use them in a product I make called Bobcat Balm. But I would just give them the straight oil and they would be better so much faster. Like they'd always come back and be like, my doctor told me I'd be out for 6 weeks and here I am 2 weeks later walking just fine. And the ability to help your friends and community members and your family in that way is such a stellar gift. I also think of my partner. He's an adrenaline junkie and a ski bum, and he loves to play hard. And with that, of course, comes injuries and surgeries. And I have watched him blow his doctor's mind by how quickly he would heal. I do, actually, Layla Smith. I've got a program coming up. One, I've got a free class next week. It's called From Pills to Plants. And in it, you will discover how to use plants as medicine in a safe and effective way. We're going to talk about 8 of the most potent herbs that you have right now inside your kitchen cabinet, how you can use them. We're going to talk about some of the big secrets that Big Pharma doesn't want you to know, so that you can start taking your health back into your own hands a bit. And then since I'm really, really passionate about teaching mamas and the grand ones as well, how to use these plants so that we can pass it down to our kiddos, I'm going to teach you 3 of my best tips for making herbal remedies that taste great. And yes, I also teach people how to make tinctures and how to grow and dry and harvest their medicines at the peak of their medicinal potency. I do that inside of my bigger programs. So right now I have herbs for immune health, which very clearly herbs for immune health. I like to teach you how your body works so that you can actually get good at choosing herbs instead of throwing herbal spaghetti at the wall. There's a very, very big difference there. To sign up for that course, you can just go to the link in my bio. It's like join my free herb class, and that's it. It's happening Wednesday. I'm doing it at noon, and I'm doing it again Thursday, I believe, at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. So I would love, love, love to have you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And once you go sign up, it'll send you to a page where you can download a workbook. And you'll definitely want to have that on hand because I do talk fast and we're going to cover a lot in a short amount of time. So it will be a lot of fun. I love teaching. I completely light up in like this educational platform, and yeah, I kind of nerd out about it in major ways, but my background's in environmental and experiential education before I became an herbalist, which is a really long and lovely story of my journey down the herbalist path. So it's been about 20 years that I've been studying using plants as medicine and really deepening that connection with nature, which I think is such a very, very powerful and important point. Like, I feel so blessed right now. If you can see behind my head, like, there's some little mountain ridges right up there, and you can see some western red cedar sprays, and there's cottonwood behind me and maple trees. So there's a lot of medicine right here in my very, very tiny yard. And then I get to, if you can hear it, I'll be quiet for a second. I'll quit babbling at you. But let me know if you can hear, there's like a rushing river in the background. I live on the Sandy River. I'm really, really grateful. Such a blessing. It is such a blessing. Like I feel so fortunate. It's kept me incredibly sane during COVID. I have like my own little private trail system. I get to go harvest the nettles, which should be popping up any moment up here. They're already around the Portland, Oregon area, but I am a little bit colder where I am. So I'm usually about 2 weeks after Portland starts blooming. So I'm excited though. I love to gather nettles, and I'll be sharing some videos with you on that. Yay, Malastra, love that. Layla, hopefully I answered how you signed up. And yeah, I definitely go into the tinctures and how to grow and dry. I teach you various aspects. The cool thing about herbs, here's one thing to remember. Most people, when they learn about an herb, they're like, cool, this herb does that. Neat. That herb probably does do that. But they are so complex and they do so many other things. So like in Herbs for Immune Health, we cover over 20 different herbs through there. You get a video monograph, you get recipes. I like to make recipes tasty because if they don't taste good, nobody's going to use them. And that's kind of a problem with tinctures. Tinctures can be really, really yucky. Connie Simmons, thank you for your likes and love. Enjoy every second. Mwah. Yes. Thank you for your following too. I love your message and your name. I love some of the names that come through this feed. It's really, truly beautiful. So, gosh, where was I? Talking about herbs, what you get, what I teach. I really teach you to be able to think critically as an herbalist, but I also take very, very complex subjects, and I break it down to make it simple for people to use so that you're not intimidated when it comes time to start using these plants as medicine. And like I've mentioned, if you're new here, hello, I'm Mel. I am a clinical herbalist. I've been studying herbalism and using plant medicine for about 20 years. I've had the incredible great fortune and blessing of learning from some of the absolute best herbalists around our continent. I feel incredibly, incredibly fortunate about that. And, I lived with imposter syndrome for quite a while. It's been 20 years, and I would teach herbal community classes in my area around Mount Hood for the last 10 years. But I always felt so intimidated about bringing this all online. And the reality is I need to. And I felt intimidated because while I've been studying for 20 years, I figure I have at least 95 more years to go before I'm really an expert. I bless these people, but there's a lot of people that say I'm a master herbalist, and man, do you know that there's like thousands upon thousands of plants, and to actually master them, it's a 200-year journey. So I really hope that you guys recognize that. And yeah, so I dealt with imposter syndrome over it. But now I also realize that I have so much joy and love for sharing herbalism with people, and it's one of my gifts that it's my dharma. It's my duty to share it with you. So I'm grateful you guys are here, and I wonder how many of you have used plants as medicine, or you're just curious. Let me know in the chat, like, where are you at? Have you been using herbalism forever? Are you just now experimenting? Have you, grown your own herbs but not really understood their medicinal value, and you're ready to learn more of that? I'd love to hear from you and where you are at in that realm. Helper KLD, I'm a sponge, teach on. You know what's so great? I have so many nurse friends, people I studied clinical herbalism with, people I have taught herbalism to. Oh, thank you so much, Roxanne. I'm so grateful you're here too. And starting your kitchen garden, Kaylee Iris, from Texas, and just want to learn. You guys are great. So the cool thing about your kitchen garden, I'm so glad you're starting it, because there is so much medicine. If you guys think about it, your ancestors were herbalists. So if you guys, one quick second, if you have friends that you think want to or need to learn about this, please share this live with them and see if they want to join, because we're going to start talking about how herbalism has been around for so long. So it was just in Let's see, the mid to late 1800s that oh, thank you so much for sharing that and joining. Oh, and you signed up live for the free class, Jessica, too. Plants are my life, just now starting the alchemy part. Yeah, there's so much going on, so much brilliant science behind this stuff. And that's kind of what I do. I try and take like the more complex scientific topics and make it easy to understand, because it is complex. It is deep. There's so much going on in the plant world, and it's truly, truly beautiful. I couldn't be more blessed. Oh, thank you guys. You're beautiful. So yeah, about our ancestors. It was the mid to late 1800s that there were some brilliant scientists that were like, holy cow, there's some things inside of these plants that people are using that I could extract and charge super exorbitant amounts of money for and call them instant fix pills. It started with like Bayer and aspirin. Pfizer was one of those first pharmaceutical companies. They're brilliant. They're genius. And they've definitely created some drugs that can save lives. So that's really, really cool. Holly McCall, you can sign up through the links in my bio. It's the top link inside of my bio. It says sign up for the free class, and it's happening next Wednesday and or Thursday. And I would love to have you there. Just 29. Hello. Thank you for your love. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. There's going to be a workbook once you register. There'll be a link to download the workbook. And of course, I'll send you another link right before class happens too. So, yeah, back to the 1800s and back to your ancestors being herbalists and using plants as medicine. So much of your kitchen herbs are the main herbs that people would use as medicine back in the day. And the cool thing about it, if you think about it here, all of these culinary herbs, they're very aromatic herbs. And when we have aromatic herbs, it's a very good sign that they're likely to be acting on your digestive system. Pretty funny when you think about how culinary herbs are made for flavoring of foods, but long ago, they were made for medicine. They were there to preserve the foods. They were there to ease a tummy ache in the event that the food was not preserved so well because refrigeration did not exist. Lee 6C21, is it 2 did? I'm going to assume that you're saying, is it 2 days? I'm offering it for 2 days. It's not a 2-day experience this time around. But you have the option to join me either Wednesday at noon Pacific Standard Time or Thursday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're definitely going to do a big old Q&A. Holly McCauley. I want to say that because it just rhymes and I like to rhyme all the time. You're very welcome. Yeah, so we'll do a lot of Q&A. Bring your questions because I'm going to do my darndest to answer them. I have wild peppermint in my yard. Always use it. Gosh, I love peppermint. One reason, because it just tastes so good. You know what I mean? Like, it's delicious. I use it in my Where Is My Mind tea, which is a tea I blend for mental clarity and focus. Hooray for that tea. It helps me like get things done. You know what I mean? And cross off the to-do list. I also use it in my Digestees, which is a tea that's all about loving your gut and easing digestion. I use it because it's what's called a carminative herb, much like our other culinary and kitchen herbs that you may be planting in your garden right now. And a carminative herb is really, really wonderful because they help to ease gassiness and bloating and tummy upset. Really, really helpful. Peppermint, particularly for the kiddos, because a lot of the other herbs can just be yucky, right? And yes, Roxanne Donovan, you are correct. It is really good for pain. I actually use it also in my Bobcat Balm, which is a salve I make for sore muscles and body aches and pains and sprains and strains and bruises. I call it Bobcat Balm because there's no tigers on Mount Hood where I live Ba-dum-bum, ching, for those of you that get the Tiger Balm pun there. I'm very cheesy in all of my names and oftentimes in my teaching and really everything I do. So it's good for some people not so much. So it's what I've got, though. It's definitely where I'm at. Yeah, I love peppermint. I love culinary herbs. I love that we are going to make it a world where there is an herbalist in every home again. That is my wholehearted mission. I am here to help you learn how to use these herbs beyond reading the latest meme on a social media post. I want to teach you how to use these herbs very safely and very effectively. A lot of people love to think that, oh, it's herbs, they're plants, they're natural, it's automatically safe. And I'm sorry, but that's not true. Sure, there are times when I would absolutely, well, me personally, I'd choose herbs over other things darn near 99% of the time. Yeah, Kaylee, I think it's Kaylee Aris, maybe, recommend any books. I have a whole list of books for herbs for beginners also in my links in bio. It's way down towards the bottom. It's like books for herbalists, I think is what I titled it. And it takes you to my list at bookshop.org. When you order through there, you're not ordering through Amazon, which is lovely. You're supporting independent, small mom and pop bookshops throughout our country. Kaylee is fine. Awesome. Thank you. And I get a very small little affiliate commission. Some of those people are, the books I recommend are authors I've interviewed on my podcast, The Herbalist Path. And it's a great list. It's pretty awesome. I also have one for advanced herbalists as well. But unless you're ready, don't overwhelm yourself with that stuff. It gets pretty heavy. Yeah, let's see. Let me know, you guys, if you do use herbs, like how has it made your life different? Has it made it better in any way? Because I see it making it better for me all the time. Like I love that I know instantly what to do for my family in the event that anything happens. We were camping last summer and I was cutting up garlic, which I so love to do, and I sliced my own thumb. Thankfully, I knew that across the road from our campsite, I had just seen a big old patch of yarrow. I went over, I grabbed it, and everything was good. That's really nice to know. My daughter, who deals with anxiety and also gets like major tummy aches instantly when she is dealing with anxiety attacks, it's directly correlated because our gut and our nervous system are very, very, very highly connected. We go over that in great depth in my Herbs for Gut Health program, which I open enrollment for that later this spring. Not quite yet, but it's a really, really powerful program to learn about for sure. Life-changing. But the cool thing is my daughter knows what herbs she needs. Like she knows that chamomile is one of her best friends. Yeah, herbs are less complicated and the gut is what got you started. That's where you need to start. All of our disease and illness begins in the gut. And when you can heal that, then you can heal darn near anything. I don't want to go overboard and say everything, but it's definitely the root cause or where the root problem lies for most disease and things that people really seek help for. And that's one thing I will let you guys know. I don't mean to sound mean on some of my TikToks. People will ask me, well, what herb can I do for this? Or, you know, they get kind of funny. Like, tell me the herb to cure my cancer. Tell me the herb to cure everything. And I want you guys to know that you are a unique being. The plants are incredibly unique in the ways in which they will work with you and your body. This is always the case. Just because one herb has been really helpful for someone in your family or your community does not mean that it is the herb for you. And oftentimes when we're dealing with chronic illness and situations like that and disease, it is in the gut, and it has to do with what you're eating first and foremost. If you're not willing to correct that in that kind of scenario, then you are not going to be able to correct this disease. How can you get better with herbs if we are still on meds? We can't just stop. What would be the first step? The first step would be to start working with an herbalist or a naturopathic physician. That's a really huge question. I don't have your health history, so I can't really answer. The first step, actually I can. First step is to assess your diet and to figure out what you are eating that is causing inflammation in your life and see how you can let it go so that you can live a healthier life. I do have a program. It's called Heal Your Body from the Inside Out. I think you can access it on the front page of my website at theherbalistpath.com. It is a very self-paced program, and it is the program that, if you guys were here at the beginning of this talk, I talked about one of my students who lost 12 pounds in 6 weeks, who went from 5 polyps on her colon down to 1 within 6 months and blew her doctor's mind, who is now sleeping better, who no longer has joint pain. Naturopathic doctors are too expensive for some people. Honestly, I'm one of them right now. I work with a lot of naturopaths, and I'm really well connected with a lot of naturopaths. They recommend a lot of my teas and products to their patients, which is such an incredible honor. Jersey Lee, hello there to you, and wow to you. Wow to Trish. Trish is the one who went through this great transformation, but she was willing to do it. She was willing to do the work and share what was, or to do the work and investigate. That's basically what you have to do. You have to investigate your own body and what's causing this disruption, and you have to be willing to let it go. And she still to this day feels so full of energy. She doesn't have those body aches and pains. She's vibrant as can be, and yeah, that's what you get out of my Heal Your Body from the Inside Out program. She's also a student of my herbs for immune health. She's also a student of my herbs for gut health. Thankful every day. Hi, I'm thankful you're here. I'm thankful all of you are here. This is really beautiful. And I'm thankful for your love and likes. As you know, naturopathic physicians are, they've got it. They deserve what they are being paid. They do really incredible work. They spent the money to go to med school. But yeah, I hear you. Not everybody can afford that. And so what's the best thing you can do? You can educate yourself. But how do you find that education that is a quality education? Because herbalists aren't free either. At least the good ones aren't. And they also are the ones doing the great work, helping so many people. Yeah, just 29, you know it. They absolutely do deserve it. But we as humans and people that maybe cannot afford that kind of thing also deserve to have some type of alternative. So that's what I do. I love to educate more people to use plants as medicine, and to do it safely and effectively, and not to be blown away by the silly memes that are out on social media. It frightens the poop out of me. Some of the information I see out there, it's absolute crap. There are people, especially for the MLM companies, they're like, I went to a party, so I'm now going to give you healthcare advice. And I'm like, wow, I've been studying with naturopathic physicians, nurses, and doctors for 10 years and studying plant medicine for 20 years. And I still don't give that kind of advice to people. Like, come on, we're complex beings. Plants are also complex, and the ways in which they are to be used in your body is going to be different. I say this over and over again, but I feel like that's half of my mission in this world, to kind of dim the light on so much of this healthcare party of poop, of crap information with no science behind it. Like, when I teach you herbalism, it's coming from a scientific perspective, because I do work with physicians. I do work with people to heal the body from the root cause of the problem. Yay, Susie, I'm super excited to have you at the free class. I think you're going to love it. Bring a pen and or be ready to type in that workbook or notebook, however you take notebooks or notes the best. So it's going to be a good time. I'm really excited that you're going to be there. And I'm really excited to continue on this journey to inspire a movement where there's an herbalist in every home again. Grandmara, you are right. Everyone is different. And the impacts of the plants are different. And we need to share that information. Like, herbs are amazing and they can be so incredibly powerful and empowering and absolutely change your life and the way that you live, the way that you take care of your children or your grandchildren. They can do so much for you. And as they do that, and you do that, and you share that information with your children, with your neighbors, with your friends, you're going to go through a period of time where they're like, oh, that cuckoo lady. Oh, well, what's she all about? She's kind of cuckoo. Yeah. You get through it when you suddenly are able to help them when they least expect it. And it's going to be amazing. Let's see. Let me answer a couple of questions. Yeah, each and every one of us are different. I have meds thrown at me that cause a brain infection that can, I'm not sure, to off me. I'm sorry, Jess. That's no fun. You know, I really do appreciate the pharmaceutical industry because they do have life-changing drugs that can save your life. There are times when I'm not looking for herbs. I'm going to the darn hospital. Pharmaceuticals and Western medicine have saved my life. They have saved my daughter's life. I am so grateful for them. But there is so much more that we can do to take more power back into our own hands and grow our own medicine, make our own medicine, connect with nature and our family as we have the opportunity to grow these beautiful plants. It's amazing. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm not sure what's going on in your particular case, so I can't really provide too much information. Connie Simmons, do I sign up in your bio? You sure do. It's the first link there, and that will get you to the free class happening either Monday or Thursday of next week. Your mom will love it, but she doesn't speak English. Ah, can you translate for her? I'm sorry. I wish I spoke more languages. You know, I was born in Germany and I speak very, very little Spanish. And I really wish that the United States, we emphasize more bilingual situations. It's crazy. Jess, you don't take them. Yeah. That's tough. 2 brain diseases, also really tough. There are a few herbs that I love, but again, I don't know what your situation is, but if you want to do some of your own research, I have a very dear friend of mine who collapsed of a brain aneurysm a few years ago. Fortunately, he is still alive, but he is now in a wheelchair. And while he's still very sharp on the inside, he's very slow to speak. But he uses my Where Is My Mind tea because it has a few herbs in there like gotu kola and ginkgo biloba that brings circulation up to the brain, increasing the oxygen levels in the brain, increasing the memory capacity, your focus, your ability to just get it together. I am so happy he's here too. Another really good one is Bacopa to look into. And that's another incredible one. And then you know what else is inside of my Where Is My Mind tea? I use rosemary and back to the peppermint we talked about earlier. Peppermint because it's delicious and it gives you this extra pep in your step. So it's kind of like a caffeine-free substitute. Rosemary, though, brings circulation up to the brain, is also known to enhance your memory. It's really great. When I was going through clinical herbal school, it was like really long, intense days, and we'd take our walks in the middle, and it was in Portland, Oregon, so there were herbs grown on everybody's yard, and I would just take a sprig of rosemary each time at lunch break or walk break and just clip it into my ear so that I could get a little extra zing of memory boost, you know. I also wish they taught this in high schools. I'm going to use my loud voice to do as much as I can to make that kind of change start to happen more and more. I also love to teach children My background is actually in environmental and experiential education, and I used to spend a lot of time working with young kids and taking them out into nature and exploring all the wonders out there. I still to this day absolutely have a blast where I teach my daughter and all of her friends about herbs, and it's so much fun. She goes to an outdoor school, and I get to go there and teach the kids about herbalism once a month. So I've taught them to make elderberry syrup, and we do like little fun things. I'll let my daughter help me pick out what she wants to make with them. It's so exciting. Rosemary, and your candle melts. Lovely, 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 lovely. And Connie, I'm going to do everything in my power. I'm just I feel like I'm coming out of my shell. And coming out of my shell as an herbalist and letting more and more people know what I want, what I have to share. So that we can truly make some difference. Yeah, you can definitely message me. If you can DM me through here, that's great. You can also email me, Mel, M-E-L, at theherbalistspath.com, theherbalistspath.com. Do I have videos on them? You're really forgetful. My brain doesn't work well at all. You know, you could try immediately my Where is My Mind. I did a podcast almost a year and a half ago where I talked about like back to school herbs. And I talk about quite a few herbs for brain health there. It might not be on the Herbalist Path website. It will be on my mountainmel's.com website if you want to look through the blog post there. That's mountainmels.com. It's also where you can find the actual blend that's helped my friend that had the brain aneurysms. It's called Where is My Mind? It's for mental clarity and focus, and it is the tea that I cannot live without. God bless you for taking the time for me. You are so welcome, Connie. I'm so glad you're here. And Roxanne, I love that you work in a high school and junior high. I don't know where. Oh, wait, you told me where you live. Are you in North Carolina? Is that right? I feel like we talked about this last time on one of my lives, but maybe I'm wrong. But I love living in Oregon. But there's no reason that I can't get to a point where I can teach more of this in an online fashion to kids, because I love it. I love, love, love it. I also have experience doing wilderness therapy with at-risk high school kids. So I would be out in the middle of nowhere with them, teaching them some wilderness survival skills, which really was all about the emotional skills that are necessary for life too. Nova Scotia, right? Ooh, you are far, far, far away. Awesome, Jess. Yeah, I head to my classes too for questions. I mean, there's only so much time I can give for questions, not to be offensive, but I do have to kind of block it out to make sure I get time to take care of me and time to be with my family and those kinds of fun things. So actually today, I got to get going here in a few minutes. I am heading down to my mom's. She lives about 2.5 hours from me, and she just had 12 puppies that are about a month old now, and I'm gonna go down with my daughter and see them. And my niece is turning 5. She turned 5 actually today, and we're having a little party for her on Sunday. So I've still got to get going and doing that kind of stuff, and I'm so grateful you guys showed up today. If you haven't already, please follow me, hang out with me. I have a free class coming up. It is called From Pills to Plants, and I'll be helping you discover how you can use herbs and plants as medicine and do it in a very safe and effective way, and also a tasty way, because if they don't taste good, the reality is, I don't know if you got kids and maybe they're picky eaters, but Mine sure is, and if I can't make those remedies taste great, then she's not going to take them. So I'm going to share some of my favorite tips in that realm in the class. You are welcome to join. There is a link inside of my bio. I'm going to be going live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll also be going live on Monday at 4 o'clock, where I'm going to be talking more about my herbal product line. Hey, fellow Oregonian. Welcome. Yeah, kiddos are so picky. It's unbelievable. But there are so many ways that we can make plant medicine taste great, just like our food. You know, plant medicine is often our food as well. Thank you so much for the wishes of enjoyment with my family. I am so grateful you all came here to say hello. Yeah, if you want to, you can check out my podcast at The Herbalist Path. And really, I just want to make herbalism spread like wildflowers, because I truly, truly believe it is the way that we can start to make our one tiny little impact per each person on this planet. We need it. Our planet's not happy, and there's obviously a lot of turmoil throughout this world, and we can spend all of our time focusing on that turmoil and being able to make very little to no impact, or we can start making more impact on our own individual lives and making an impact on our families, which will eventually spread like wildflowers when they're not burning down and not being bulldozed over and all of those other funny things. So I'm so grateful you guys are here. Thank you so, so much. I'll try and pop in live this weekend, maybe show you guys some puppies or something like that. I'll aim for the 2 o'clock range, but it's also my time off and my family time. So I may not be perfect in that way, but I'll be popping on some point in time, and I hope that you guys join me. I am so grateful for you and taking the time to hang out with me. And I can't wait to see you also in my live class on Wednesday and or Thursday. We are going to have a really good time together. I'm going to share so much with you. I think you're all beautiful, and please go out and hug someone you love. Thank you. Bye.